Coming up on 5 Minute News. FBI agent sees cell phone of Congressman Scott Perry. Explosions at Russian airbase in Crimea. And another extreme heat warning for the United Kingdom. It's Wednesday, August 10. I'm Anthony Davis. The Republican U.S. Congressman Scott Perry said his cell phone was seized on Tuesday morning by FBI agents carrying a search warrant. The circumstances surrounding the seizure were not immediately known. Perry, though, has been a figure in the congressional investigation into President Donald Trump's actions leading up to the January 6 Capitol insurrection. Former senior Justice Department officials have testified that Perry, a Pennsylvania Republican, had an important role in Trump's effort to try to install Jeffrey Clark, a top justice official who was pushing Trump's baseless claims of election fraud, as the acting Attorney General. The lawmaker representing Pennsylvania's 10th District was cited more than 50 times in a Senate Judiciary report released in October last year, outlining how Trump's effort to overturn his election defeat brought the Justice Department to the brink of chaos and prompted top officials there and at the White House to threaten to resign. Perry, who has continuously disputed the validity of Joe Biden's victory in Pennsylvania, has said he obliged Trump's request for an introduction to Clark, then an assistant attorney general whom Perry knew from unrelated legislative matters. The three men went on to discuss their shared concerns about the election, Perry has said. The Justice Department found no evidence of widespread fraud in Pennsylvania or any other state, and senior justice officials dismissed Perry's claims. Meanwhile, former U.S. President Donald Trump on Tuesday tried to turn the news that the FBI had searched his Florida estate to his benefit, citing the investigation in text messages and emails soliciting potential donations from his supporters. Powerful explosions rocked a Russian airbase in Crimea and sent towering clouds of smoke over the landscape on Tuesday in what may mark an escalation of the war in Ukraine. At least one person was killed and several others were wounded, authorities said. Russia's defense ministry denied the Saki base on the Black Sea had been shelled and said instead that munitions had blown up there. But Ukrainian social networks were abuzz with speculation that it was hit by Ukrainian-fired long-range missiles. Videos posted on social networks showed sunbathers on nearby beaches fleeing as huge flames and pillars of smoke rose over the horizon from multiple points, accompanied by loud booms. Crimea Today News said on Telegram that witnesses reported fire on a runway and damage to nearby homes as a result of what it said were dozens of blasts. During the war, Russia has reported numerous fires and explosions at munitions storage sites on its territory near the Ukrainian border, blaming some of them on Ukrainian strikes. Ukrainian authorities have mostly remained mum about the incidents. If Ukraine forces were, in fact, responsible for the blasts at the airbase, it would be the first known major attack on a Russian military site on the Crimean Peninsula, which the Kremlin annexed in 2014. A smaller explosion last month at the headquarters of Russia's Black Sea Fleet in the Crimean port of Sevastopol was blamed on Ukrainian saboteurs using a makeshift drone. Britain's Weather Service on Tuesday issued an amber extreme heat warning for parts of England and Wales, with no respite in sight from hot, dry conditions that have sparked fires, broken temperature records, and strained the nation's infrastructure. The amber warning, the second most severe after red, will be in place from Thursday through Sunday and means that people vulnerable to extreme heat could face adverse health effects. Temperatures are expected to peak at 95 degrees Fahrenheit on Friday and may be higher in some places by Saturday. The warning follows the driest July for England since 1935, when temperatures rose above 100 degrees for the first time, turning a renewed spotlight to the impacts of climate change. Other European nations have also faced a scorching heatwave in recent weeks, with temperatures often exceeding 100. Britain, which is less used to such high temperatures, has struggled to cope. July's heatwave caused power outages, damaged airport runways, buckled rail tracks, and ignited dozens of blazes in London, where the fire service faced its busiest week since World War II. Several water companies have already imposed restrictions, and ambulance services have received hundreds of calls from patients facing breathing difficulties, dizziness, and fainting. The amber warning, which follows Britain's first ever red warning in July, covers much of the southern half of England and parts of eastern Wales. Scientists have said the July heatwave was made at least 10 times more likely because of man-made climate change. You can subscribe to 5-Minute News on YouTube with your preferred podcast app. Ask your smart speaker or enable 5-Minute News as your Amazon Alexa flash briefing skill. Subscribe, rate and review online at 5minute.news. 5-Minute News is an Evergreen podcast covering politics, inequality, health and climate, delivering independent, unbiased and essential world news daily.